The Existential Crisis Butterfly by Peter Pan. When I was young, I found learning tricky. I wrote sentences backwards, letters strewn randomly. Numbers also confounded me, unable to add, subtract, multiply, or divide as others appeared to do easily. And so I turned to my elders to support me, and they would explain things to me, initially, but would soon get frustrated, then angry, as if I was trying to be obtuse, purposefully. They would try to make me understand, by shaming me, telling me I was not trying hard enough, not listening, being lazy. But when shaming me failed to help me understand, they would try to scare me, shouting, banging, throwing things, slapping me. But inevitably, my failure to understand would cause them to abandon me, and I would watch them fly away, flapping their wings noisily. And I'd be left alone, scared, confused, overwhelmed, dangling like a butterfly trapped on the thread of a spider's web, spiraling endlessly. And feelings of desolation and despair would overwhelm me, as I would see life going on happily for all others around me, but I could not participate as I lacked the ability to navigate life effortlessly. And over time, I started to question, what is life for exactly? As for me, life was just an endless cycle of failure and misery. And so an existential crisis consumed me, and I found myself asking why I needed to live when life was not enjoyable for me. Consequently, when I dangled, I did not fight to be free. Instead, I called for the spiders to come and eat me and end my misery. But the end never came, unfortunately. Instead, my tears dissolved the silk threads of confusion, and I'd come crashing to the ground, my time in solitary confinement having allowed me to learn what others were too impatient or frustrated to teach me. How to read and write properly, how to redirect the attention of others when I struggled with arithmetic so they would not be tempted to react with criticism or cruelty, how to laugh at myself when I fell to the ground, how to laugh quickly before others laughed at me. However, luckily, my experiences of failure, humiliation, and rejection helped me develop empathy, and so others flocked to me for support whenever they were having difficulty. And I learned to accept that even though I could understand, empathize, and support others, they would never understand, empathize with, or support me. And so by middle age, I had learned to accept the life that had been thrust on me. I was used to life being difficult. I was used to failure. I was used to feeling helpless. I did not expect to be happy. So it came as quite a shock when I was diagnosed with both autism and ADHD, and suddenly it dawned on me that neurodivergence had caused my difficulty. Suddenly I understood that dyslexia and dyscalculia made reading, writing, and arithmetic incredibly tricky, that dysgraphia made my handwriting messy, that dyspraxia made me clumsy. Suddenly I understood why trying to keep up with others whilst being neurodivergent and having learning difficulties had pushed me from burnout into shutdown continuously. Suddenly I realized that there had been nothing wrong with me. I just processed things differently. I had different interests and motivations to others in my community. But unexpectedly, I felt overwhelmed and trapped in a web of confusion as I struggled to come to terms with the enormity of how much easier life could have been had it been understood, diagnosed, and supported early. But when I turned to others to support and comfort me, they retreated, my story of sadness and loss too uncomfortable to listen to casually. And so I was left, abandoned and alone, again, like I had been as a child, confused, trapped and dangling, my punishment for being too needy. And as I again called for the spiders to eat me, it occurred to me that the spiders were those who had isolated, invalidated, and eviscerated me through their lack of compassion, their distaste for diversity. But unlike before, when the silk threads wrapped around me, something changed. My diagnosis had forced a metamorphosis to occur. Instead of dangling helplessly, I used the spider threads to build a cocoon where I reshaped myself in mind and body. Unlike before, my tears did not soften the threads that tried to restrain me. Unlike before, shame and self-blame did not force me to laugh off the pain lightly. Unlike before, I did not fall to the ground dishevelled, embarrassed, and apologizing profusely. Instead, diagnosis allowed me to break the web of confusion with self-compassion and fury. Diagnosis had triggered my metamorphosis, and I was no longer the scared and compliant butterfly I used to be. My wings, no longer light, soft, and floaty, now sharp and pointy, weaponized against others around me. My body, no longer thin and fragile, now strong and flexible. My eyes, no longer bright and yearning for the light, now deep and dark, accustomed to the gloom surrounding me. My heart, no longer kind, open, and ready to support others unconditionally, now closed and guarded, protecting me. I was no longer the brightly coloured butterfly I was born to be, innocent, hopeful, enthusiastic energy. Instead, I was a hawk moth, cautious, suspicious, dark intensity. My outlook on life altered immeasurably. I no longer hoped to live the life others did, fluttering around obliviously. I accepted that a carefree life would never be my destiny. And so I purposefully separated myself from the othering community that had never understood, supported, or valued me, and instead placed my focus on understanding, supporting, and valuing myself. And over time, I learned to protect myself, my integrity, my dignity, my creativity. And over time, solitude became my joy, darkness, my sanctuary. The end. Thank you for watching. This video was written, illustrated, and narrated by Peter Pan. Please like and subscribe.